welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm so glad you're here this morning or this evening or whenever you get to watch this video. Normally my channel is about knit, crochet, sewing, and a lot of talking. Today I want you to crochet with me. Well, somewhat crochet with me. I'm still crocheting, okay? Welcome if you are a new viewer. Like I said, I normally do those things. Right now I am recovering the use of the left side of my body, so I really can't use my left hand that well. It is kind of like a little blob. Ooh, I probably should have put lotion on my hand. This one's not so bad. This one gets, you know, all the love and attention and whatnot, but my left hand kind of not. So if I haven't scared you away, grab you a project, grab you something to drink. I am drinking me some warm tea, hot tea. And hang out with me for a minute. If you are a returning viewer, y'all have my heart. You know that. Because without y'all, I wouldn't be wanting to do these videos. I would want to, I just wouldn't have anybody watching them. So, okay. So, I don't know if I have the camera down far enough, but I am using one of the tension rings that Shannon got me, and, you know, since she has said twice in the, comment section about the crochet rings, I'm assuming you don't mind, Shannon. And what I will do is, before I air this video tomorrow, I will email you and hopefully get a reply. I'm trying to find the end of my thing so that, there we go. So on the other video, I told y'all I was almost done with this, and I am. I'm so excited. I only have one more round to do all the way around, kind of like a border. Well, not kind of like a border, it is a border. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get my yarn into my tension ring, which is usually an act of Congress in and of itself. I'm not even gonna lie about that. But how was y'all's Thanksgiving? Mine was kind of subdued, and if y'all see me fidgeting, this is my first. Y'all know that my workroom here is fairly new to me in the sense that I finally made my space instead of my cubby, but it's the first time I've used it in the wintertime. Oh gosh, that tastes so good, and it's gonna warm me up because it's cold in here. I have on my lap my Battenberg blanket that I still haven't woven in the ends for. That's what's on my lap to keep me warm. But I didn't know, which I guess, you know, when my boys were growing up, my oldest twin, yeah, this was his room, and I didn't I never heard him complain about it being cold. Well, now, I mean, my boys run hot. So does my husband. Well, my husband used to. Now I'm the one that runs hot. All right, let me put my hand over here. I got to, bear with me, y'all. If y'all can see me fiddling, I'm sorry. This is just the way I have to do this thing. I almost broke this ring. I put it on my index finger to try to make it better, and it started creasing, so I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. So anyway, and if you can't see me, I'm trying to fiddle with getting the yarn on my tension ring. So Thanksgivings, beyond the fact that I'm talking in my little cold workroom, but I tried to set up my camera again around my neck the other day to crochet this with y'all, because I haven't touched this since the last time, the last video when I brought it in here to show y'all. I just left it in here because I wasn't able to get the angle with my little neck thing. I kept fussing with it, but I could never keep the crochet in shot. And the irony of it is it might not be in shot now. But if it's not, I do apologize. Y'all have seen me crochet in this, so it is easier for me to crochet it up here because it is so high up, and I'm able to see it a little better. I know that's funny, but for one, I don't have a camera in my way, and two, it is bringing it up a little closer because, you know, I just got these classes, and I want to show y'all something. You know how I've been telling you that my hand clenches? Well, I've used that to my advantage. I'm no longer just sitting my project under my hand. I'm wedging it. I don't know if you can see it. I'm wedging it between my thumb and my index finger to where it's holding it steady. It's not like I'm holding it like I normally do. But it is holding it enough to where it's holding it a little bit better at an upward angle than it was when I was just letting my hand lay on top of it. And it was so funny. My daughter-in-law did my nails for me yesterday. I have been trying to find this color. I used to, when I would paint my nails, I used to use OPI Bagata Blackberry. I know, right? We're talking fingernails on a crochet and knit and sewing channel. But I used to use that color to paint my nails with in the wintertime. That was like my go-to color. But then when I started using dip on my nails instead of regular acrylic, brushed on acrylic and everything, you just buy the color dip that you want and you don't have to paint your nails ever. And I love that. So I have been on the hunt. The dip powder I use is called Kira Sky, and I have been on the hunt for a color that would duplicate the Bagata Blackberry. And I bought, and I will show y'all because I'll show you a Christmas present that I got early from my daughter-in-law and my son. Technically it's from my daughter-in-law. I mean, my son bought it, but my daughter-in-law picked it. Does that make sense? So it is from both of them still. But the last time when she had done just my right hand, since my left hand was still in good shape, I made a comment about them little raggedy buckets that I had them in, all my nail stuff in. So she went on Amazon and, hang tight. Apparently I couldn't talk and make that loop. But she went on Amazon and found a, she said it was like a medicine storage thing. I don't know. I'm looking at it over here to the side of me, and y'all, I really don't see how this thing can be a medicine thing. So if that's what Amazon was, I thought I'd messed up my stitch. If that's what Amazon has had it advertised as, yeah, that's a little strange. I will admit that. But you know, you just never know sometimes with the way Amazon advertises things, because it is just basically whatever tags or whatever headlines they think they can, or product headline that they can think that will get attention to their product. I don't know. But to me, it doesn't look anything like a medicine bin. Because over the years, you know, with my husband being disabled and on a pretty wide list of medications, I've had, you know, the days of the week, and then I bought him a one for the entire month, you know, that has the no, it wasn't for the entire month. It was, it's a big one. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen it, because he refused to, he stopped doing it when my neighbor visited and ended up taking his medicine. Needless to say, we don't socialize with those neighbors anymore. But it might have been instead of a whole month, because I want to say it had it was still a week long. Yeah, because I used to do it every Sunday. So it was a week long medicine thing, but it had different times of the day. So it was easy, you know, so he wouldn't guess whether he had taken medicines or not. And those are the type of medicine storage that come to my mind. So when she said that it wasn't billed as a nails thing, it was billed as a medicine sorter, I was like, oh, really? Okay. So give me a second, and I'm almost to the peak of this. As soon as I get to the peak of this, I will put it down and I will show y'all my little early Christmas present. And she's like, I've got more coming. I'm like, no, you don't need to buy me all that. Trust me. Because she knows I would rather give gifts than receive them. I really would. That's just who I am. So give me 1 second. Last stitch. Now, I don't know if y'all can see just how raised up this shoulder gets when I'm crocheting. But look, I've done an entire... How long have I been talking? I don't even know. I didn't even look. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of the granny clusters. So that's what? 27 stitches. Oh man, the bad part about this. Well, I'm just going to leave my hand on the table so I don't have to undo that yarn off of that tension ring. Because like I told y'all, I did break the cat one, my cat tension ring that I loved, but that was my fault. Because I was using my teeth to try to open it, to put it on my thumb, and I think I just pulled it too hard or too much, or I don't know. But this is what I was telling y'all about. See, look. Does that look like any kind of a medicine container y'all have ever seen? And it's so handy because you have this little level here, and this is where all my powders. I was going to show you that real quick. And I know this is not the kind of channel for that. But this is the one. This is what trips me out about acrylic powders. Is she put it back in this thing, and I kind of wish she hadn't, but I'm going to just take it out and move it out. Come on. So, if y'all can see that, it's Kiara Sky. And you see the difference. I'm going to try to keep my face out of the thing so that it'll focus on it. Let's see if I can bring it closer. The two, I'm trying to keep it in the light too. What is on my nails is what is in this jar. And when I got it, I'm like, oh, that does not look like it's going to even be close. But it again, like I said, you wouldn't think that that color would come up with this dark color on my nails, but it did. I had also bought, and I might end up returning these two. I mean, that one came to me with the powder leaking out, so I might return these two to Amazon, because this one is just too orange of a color. And y'all see this is like a purpley maroon, sort of, kind of. And I told my daughter-in-law I wasn't sure if I wanted to go through the trouble of returning them. I don't know. They were like $13 a piece. So I still might, especially since I know this is the one that, and this one's called Fireball Shimmer. Now see, wait, this is Fireball. But the package says Fireball Shimmer. Yeah. Alright, so I might need to keep the package just for that. But anyway, so this has got all my little powders in it. And it's so funny because I have, this one right here is my go-to in the summertime. Y'all know, with my bright pink highlighter nails. And I always buy a second one of that one. And now I have my winter version. But then I also have Diablo. Yeah. See, this is like my Christmas version. Yes, I know it's got powder all over it. But anyway. So, it's got 3 levels. Let me make sure I have these things. Okay. I'm trying to unsnap them. And then it's got this level, which I just got the files and buffing pads and all that. Excuse me. I did not mean to burp on y'all. Alright. The one I want to show you is the biggest part. I'm going to try to tip it. And yes, I know these are not nail stuff. Oh. But let's see if I can do this without tipping everything over. But see how much it holds down there? It holds a lot of stuff. And this has got some major dust on it. But it's nail polish thinner. I've had that thing for years. And I think it's evaporating because I've not used this in a long time, but I don't remember it being that empty. Now, the only problem with this is these little things right here. These are my refills for my Kiara Sky stuff. And they're a little tall, so I'm going to have to press down a little to make sure. Oh, you're just going to have to come with me, yarn and all. Because it's hang tight. There we go. Anyway, isn't this so pretty? And it has all my stuff in one spot, so I don't have to worry about. I can put that on a shelf, and I don't have to worry about anything messing with it. All right, now I pulled my stitch out. Man, look, y'all. I pulled it out. Those 3. I guess when I said I had to pull my yarn with me. Yeah, I pulled my yarn with me, all right. Oh, no, it come off my tension ring. This struggle is real, y'all. I'm not even going to joke. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm not kidding. It's definitely a situation. So, I was talking about Thanksgiving and I got sidetracked. I know. I don't know how y'all do it, because there's sometimes to where I'm watching somebody new, and I'm not naming names. I don't do that. But there's a couple channels that I've been watching that I've never watched before. And I will have to click off of them. And it's not because I don't like their content. It's just maybe at that moment, my brain can't handle my squirrel moments and somebody else's squirrel moments. Maybe. So I appreciate y'all hanging with me. I really do, because I do have some squirrel moments. Now, back to the regular scheduled program. Thanksgiving. So I did not get to do those yeast rolls. I spent that afternoon doing, because I do a homemade stuffing to where I make cornbread and biscuits, and I piece them up and then add some chicken broth, some egg, some sage, which I did out of my garden this year, and I did all that. Well, I cooked. I didn't prep. I didn't cook the stuffing. I got everything together. I crumbled everything up in a bowl, put my onions, and the only thing I didn't do is my chicken stock. Oh, my homemade chicken stock too, by the way. And I'm so proud of some of the things that I've incorporated into my everyday life. I know I don't really talk about it much on here because, hello, this is not the channel for it. But I do. Now, I didn't add any of the wet ingredients, so I just added all the dry stuff and salt, pepper, sage, which, ironically enough, y'all should have seen me trying to grind my sage with a mortar and pestle, because I don't have like a chopper or a food grinder or anything like that. My son has a coffee grinder, but I don't think he would appreciate me using it to grind my sage. Could you imagine him making his little espresso coffee with his specialty beans or whatever bean? He don't have specialty beans right now, but he would not be a happy camper with me. So I'm sitting there trying to grind up my sage, and I got it mostly done. It was more flakes than ground. But I did talk to my daughter, and I'm waiting till after Christmas. I did talk to my daughter-in-law about trying to find maybe a food processor that I could do. I could chop my onions, I could shred cheese, something like that. If y'all have any recommendations for that, I would greatly appreciate it, because a lot of times when people don't know what to get me, they'll get me gift cards, or my father-in-law always does cash, but between the gift cards and the cash, I may be able to, it depends if it's like a Walmart gift card or Amazon gift card, I could put that toward a food processor. So if y'all have any good, reasonable price. Okay, now I know reasonable is a perception and it varies person to person. But maybe something that, because I would love for it to grind, if there is such an attachment or an option. Chop, shred. The only one I'm worried about is the grinding. So I might not have that feature, or I don't even know if any of them have that feature. But what brand, what size, kind of give me, if you got a name brand, or if you can give me the brand, and even if it's not the model number, but say it's like Black & Decker 6 cup, 9 cup, 12 cup, whatever, food processor or something like that can kind of get me sort of close. Or even send me a post on the community tab and just post a picture of the one you have, because I really do want to try one. It would make my life, right now, it would make my life way easier. But I'm thinking, normal everyday life for me, not one-armed me. But if we can get something like that going in my kitchen, I think that would work great. I do have a KitchenAid stand mixer that my daughter-in-law and my son bought me 3 Christmases ago, I think. Hold on. I have to tighten it up. I pulled too much. Oh, that's why. My tension ring slipped. There you go. Tuck that back in there. And I thought about maybe getting like an attachment for like the cheese grater part, but those things are so expensive. Back before I landed myself in the hospital, I told y'all, we took the cow and had it butchered and everything. So a lot of the cuts that they sent us home with were not clear. The lady at the butchering place, or not the butchering place, it's Kaufman's. They do have a butcher shop, but that's where you go to take your animals for processing. So anyway, processors. Yeah, there you go. So, whew, all right, I got to stop. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. My right shoulder says it's done. So I just took my tension ring off. Now I got to get it out of my yarn. So, get this over here. I should be done with that. Today is Sunday. Y'all will see this tomorrow. So, to go around the entire thing, because I can only do maybe 10 to 15 minutes without my shoulder just giving up. I might have it done before the next episode. So, wish me luck. But, anyway, I'm going to cover this arm up. And it's so funny. Y'all are about to see how I sit in my recliner, because this is how I sit snuggled up in my recliner. But this arm is really cold, and I think it's because it doesn't really move a whole lot. So, anyway, squirrel moment, I know. But I had picked her up a KitchenAid attachment for her stand mixer because she ended up getting her mom's old KitchenAid mixer. And she had mentioned wanting to be able to grind a lot of those meat cuts that the lady called old-fashioned cuts that were not clear as mud, or that were clear as mud. And what exact piece that was of the cow. So they have a lot of roast type cuts. And I told her, you know, because they eat roast like I do. So they do eat roast, but there's no way she's going to be able to do 12 to 13, 14 roast, you know, before she needs to finish up using all the meat. So we were talking about a grinder, you know, that would be really handy for her to have. So with that in mind, I had gone to Amazon and picked her up a meat grinder attachment to put on the end of her KitchenAid. And I have been so tempted to give that thing to her early, but she gave me that early, and I kept telling her, no, don't give me anything early. I don't want anything early. Well, when I was down at her house yesterday, she said, please just let me do this, because she was trying to get my stuff out of my 2 little broken plastic bins. She's like, trust me. And I was like, okay. So she brought it out, and my eyes just lit up, and I'm like, that is perfect. It is perfect for what I need. So I love it. I love it. And there's even room that I could put more stuff in. I don't need to put any more stuff in it, but if I do end up getting me some more dip powders, I have room. So I was so tempted to tell her, well, if you're going to give me mine early, I'm going to give you one of yours early, and maybe give her the meat grinder. But I'm going to hold off. Christmas is right around the corner, so I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to hold off. Okay. I'm going to show y'all another thing that I've been working on. And I know I did not show this ahead of time of what it looked like before. I'm going to try to hold it up. I have to work on it in here because it is so long. But this is one of the diamond painting that came in the Happy Mail from a certain somebody that does not wish to be named. But I don't know if y'all can. So it's fire and ice dragons. I know that I'm using the white things right here are protectors for when you peel this off. And it's so much easier for me to peel sections of this rather than trying to cut this with my X-Acto knife, because I can't hold this steady while I'm cutting. I can put my arm over top of it, but it still doesn't help me hold the diamond painting steady while I cut. So it is easier for me to use these release papers, and that's why I had them on my wish list anyway, because I knew that it was going to be something that would make my life easier. All right, you know what? It can stay on my lap. Heck with it. It just don't want to stay up on, which usually I'm sitting back and it's tucked behind my thing against the chair. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you all that in a second. But it doesn't, so it's flopping over. So when I originally did the put it on my Amazon list, that I, full disclaimer, that I had put all these things on as a reminder of what I wanted to get. But it definitely makes my life easier, because these things are, I can put them right back. I can peel it off move it over, you know, like 2 inches, and then lay it back down, and then just kind of move it around that little 4x6 section as I'm working on it, because the benefit of being in here is I can do this long, because this one is and it's sitting on my cutting mat, so I can measure it really easy instead of centimeters. So the canvas, not the picture, the picture's probably 2 inches smaller on top and bottom, but the canvas is 31.5 inches wide by 12 inches tall. So that means the canvas that I'm actually diamond painting on is 29 inches by 10 inches. So, but it's still a very big thing, and I don't have room for that little lap table or that lap desk. It's too small. And I've also been using my I'm pointing at it because I had cleared off I had cleared off my cutting table because I had to cut something. I had an order. Thank you, Sandra. I had an order the other day for some reusable paper towels. One of these, because I sell them in sets of 3, and one of the sets I had already pre-done, so I got lucky on that one. But I was nervous. I was like, I'm gonna have to email her and you know, refund her money and all this, because there's no way I can do this right now. Y'all know that I am a very, 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 very determined woman, right? So what I did is I took the beast. I had this sitting over here to where my arm could rest on it. And the only thing my hand had to do, I'm hoping y'all can see this. The only thing my hand had to do was lay there like that. This hand controlled the fabric no matter which way I went. So I was able to sew them, which really makes me feel good. Cutting was kind of difficult, but let me show you. The way my ruler is I laid everything out. I laid this on it, put my arm like that to weigh it down, and then I cut. So I was actually able to do this, y'all. I was so surprised. Now, unfortunately, it might not be my best sewing, but it is better. Because this is something my daughter-in-law has expressed fear of. Because she, you know, it is loud. There's a cutting tool on there. And I'm going to get her out of her fear, but without me right there showing her. Actually, now might be the perfect time to show her. If I can do it one-armed, she can do it. Or one-handed. So yeah, I was able to do all that. And everything kind of got moved off my cutting table. So I did not have to email Sandra and say, I can't fill this order, you know. And it made me feel so much better that I could do this. That's why it is Sunday and I'm just now making this video. That plus, okay. Now, we're done with all that. I'm going to catch y'all up a little bit on health-wise. Y'all see that I'm back in my chair. Because I was sitting in here working on the diamond painting with my walker. And it was hurting my hiney so bad. Y'all, I have no hiney. I'm flat as a pancake. There's no meat on my booty. So I have to sit on cushions a lot of times. In fact, I'm sitting on a pillow now. But on that walker, even with a pillow, it hurts. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring my chair back in here and see if I can't do that. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. Don't get mad at me. And the reason I say that is because when I'm pushing myself through all this, my husband, he doesn't get mad at me, but he does get a little bit upset because he doesn't want me to hurt myself or anything like that. But I can't get better unless I push myself, right? So my daughter-in-law and I have gone to town. We've gone to Walmart. We've gone shopping at Walmart. We've gone shopping at Lowe's because she wanted to redo a bookshelf, a built-in bookshelf, but she wanted to rip all that stuff out and give herself, pardon me, give herself more shelves. Well, when we've gone and done that, we've had electric carts to help me out. One time when we went to Home Depot, she went and got me a cart, and it lasted all up until we got to the front door. And then it died. So she went and got my walker, and basically I was sitting in my walker. I was sitting on my walker like I do in here, and just pushing myself with my right leg. First, my grandson was doing it, and he's 5 years old. Y'all know this. And he was struggling, and I was trying to stay out of his way so he could see around me. But I was like, buddy, it's okay. Grandma can do it, you know, because I was like, is Grandma too heavy? And he's like, no, ma'am. I said, well, what's wrong? Why are you struggling so hard? He said, I don't know, Grandma. I said, okay, baby. Don't you worry about it. You want to ride in the buggy? Well, Mom had changed the buggy, and Wynn got one of those long things, so he couldn't ride on that. And I said, I tell you what, just hold on to Grandma's walker right here, and you know, because normally he holds my hand wherever we go. That baby loves to hold his grandma's hand. I said, just hold on to my walker right here, and you know, I'll scooch, and you can tell me if I'm run the risk of running into anything. All right, all that was 2 weeks ago. Maybe a week and a half ago. Anyway, so Friday, I was running out of my sparkling ices and then my sparkling ice caffeines. And on Thanksgiving Day, she said that she needed to run to Walmart the next day. And I said, okay, well, you know, we'll go tomorrow, whatever. She's like, are you sure? Because I was struggling on Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving, doing all that, and then doing the stuff on Thanksgiving. I can't tell y'all how many eggs I dropped. I was doing deviled eggs, and yeah. But anyway, so I told her, I did have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for everybody who wished me one, and I hope y'all did too. It was just my little core group, and you know, we had a nice time. My son wasn't feeling well, so him and my daughter-in-law and my grandson went home, you know, fairly quick. Put it this way, when my other son was helping me put all the dishes, put everything in dishes and whatnot, everything was still so warm I had to leave it on the table before I could put it in the leftovers in my fridge, because that's how fast. Yeah. So, it was really good, though, because by that point, I was ready to kick back and relax. Honestly, that was the night I got a good bit done on this diamond painting, because I just needed downtime, you know? So, that worked out perfectly. But before they left, she had said she needed to go to Walmart the next day. I said, well, that's perfect, because I need some sparkling ices, and I need some caffeine, sparkling ice caffeine. So, we went. And she starts right away. The minute we pull up at Walmart, she starts stressing out. Because, you know, she has anxieties, and big crowds and stuff like that really mess with her. So I said, sweetheart, we have made a plan to go to Walmart from here on out to make it easier on her, and sometimes on me, because sometimes crowds are just rude, especially at this time of the year. You would think it would be opposite because, you know, Christmas time, the season of family, fellowship, friends. But it's so commercialized now that people are just ready to go in, buy the gifts, and get out, and the heck with anybody they mow down in the process. So, but I told her, I was like, sweetheart, it is Black Friday. And we came at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because we did say we would either do early morning. But to me, early morning, when I get up before 6 o'clock, it's like 7, 8-ish. For her, early might be 9, 10-ish. But I'm gonna have her set her clock alarm one morning and get us there by 8 a.m. at the latest, and let her see how calm of a shopping experience she can have. And she'll be setting them alarms when we gotta go to Walmart. But anyway, we pulled up and I said, it is Black Friday. I know technically Black Friday's not the same hoopla as it used to be, because Black Friday sales start sometimes in October, sometimes in November. All except for Black Friday. And Cyber Monday sales aren't really Cyber Monday sales anymore. And because Black Friday sales are now online, whereas used to be Black Friday sales were only at in person, in store, you know. Anyway, so I'm getting to a point, I promise. The problem was there was no carts. So she's like, well, Miss Lynn, if nothing else, Brantley can push the buggy and I can push you. I said, or I can just push myself. But when we got in there, we were hoping that we would see a cart come available. But it was frustrating because parties of 2 or 3 people that were together were all in carts. And, you know, there was no way I was going to get a cart. So rather than just saying, okay, I'm going back to the car, because I needed to get some stuff, I said, okay, you know what? I'll walk for as long as I can, and then be done with it. Because, y'all, I have been trying to walk without my walker around the house. And at first, it was very slow going. I would push the walker like 2 or 3 steps ahead of me and walk to it. So I am building up that resistance to walking more. Needless to say, I was not prepared to walk that much in Walmart. Now, I did sit, like when she was in looking at something, like we ended up having to go to the animal section so she could get cat litter, and then to the makeup section so she could get mascara, eyeliner, I can't remember. But anyway, and I needed some soft soap refills for my bathroom and my kitchen soap dispensers. And every time we would have to go in little sections like that, I would sit down on the walker. But y'all, I walked it. Now, we didn't get a whole lot of things. I think I had 4 things on my list, and she had maybe 7 things on hers. So it wasn't a big shopping trip, but I did it. Now, I will admit, I have to build up my stamina, or whatever you want to call it. I was tired, but my hips hurt so stinking bad. I'm like, my hips aren't even the problem, but it's all the sitting that I've been doing for a month and a half, you know. So it's just a matter of building myself back up. So the other day when I was in here, I stood. This is the most I've been in my workroom since I left the hospital, and I'm loving it because I might not be able to crochet a lot. I might not be able to knit it all yet. And I did do some sewing on my beast, on my serger. But just, I've told y'all, this is my happy space, you know. I call it my workroom. Some people call it my office. Some people call it a craft room. It's my happy place. Ooh. Alright, I must have had honey on the bottom of my cup. It just stuck to the thing. That is now cold. So that means, I don't even know what time I started talking. The one time I looked up, it was like 40 minutes ago. So I'm going to get off here. But I did want y'all, I did want to give y'all an update. I am doing better. Now, yes, I am holding on to my hand, so I'm helping my arm a little bit. But y'all see this, right? Y'all see how high I got that? Now, let me show you without my hand holding it up. Hang on. It's coming. Just give me a second. There we go. And that's the shoulder muscle that's doing it, and I know that, but that's a lot, y'all. So I am very proud of where I'm at. I am excited for every new day, because when I was going through Walmart, my daughter-in-law said that it looked like I was taking a step instead of dragging my leg, which is huge because I've been swinging my hip. That might be why my hip was hurting so bad. But I swing my hip to pull my leg around, or to pull my leg forward. And she said she saw less of that while we were shopping at Walmart than I've shown since this whole issue began. So I am hopeful. But like I was telling her when we got home, I did not do a whole lot after that because I was crying. I was hurting. And yesterday I did go down to her house and she did my nails, but I have a feeling that mine and her theory from the beginning is a valid theory, because when I start moving, my body, it's almost like it remembers. The muscle memory is there. So, but when I engage my brain into telling my body to do it, it's not working. And I've caught my fingers, just spasming and flexing, and I'm not doing anything. They'll just be down there and they'll just go doing whatever they want to do. And the clutching that my hand is doing a lot of times, I think that's me getting tense about what I'm doing. Like I can be working on my diamond painting and I can be in a groove and I look down and my hand's clenched on my lap. So my muscles are trying. It's just when I engage my brain to tell them that it doesn't quite work. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. There were some things I wanted to talk to y'all about, and I have some ideas brewing, and I will definitely bring that up in the next video. I'm hoping to get finished with that blanket, and there's a couple different patterns that I'm thinking about doing, so yeah, we'll jump on that one on the next video. For now, I've been talking way too much. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me because I couldn't get motivated to come in here this morning to record this video. Walmart took it out of me, and then going down to her house, which technically we did go down to her house. I did go down to her house. My husband took me down there. And I keep telling them, I can drive. I need one hand and one foot. My right side, my right hand, my right foot. That's all I need. But, they're kind of scared to let me. whatever. I'm going a half a mile down a back road to my son and daughter-in-law's house, you know? Just half a mile. Anyway, so he took me down there and we did that. And then after she was done with my nails, while she was doing them, she's like, man, Miss Lynn, I'm craving some Chinese. Well, I have had, today is Sunday. I had leftovers Friday. I had leftovers yesterday. I've been eating turkey and ham and mac and cheese and stuffing. Whatever weight I was losing, I'm going to be gaining back because of all these Thanksgiving foods I'm eating. That's the good thing and the bad thing about having a small Thanksgiving gathering. You cook way too much food and you're eating for days. But anyway, she said she wants some Chinese. I was like, okay. She's like, you want some? I said, no. I said, I'm going to eat leftovers. And she's like, I know. I think I just want something different. I want some Chinese. I said, well, then let's go get it. My son was in bed. He wasn't feeling good. So me, her, and the grandbaby loaded up in their car, and we went to town, which is 30 minutes away. Got them some Chinese, and got my other son some Chinese. My husband was actually at my brother-in-law's. He went over to their house because they were doing Thanksgiving, and I said, you know, I'm not up for it right now. I'm sorry. Because like I said, y'all, I was still sore. Sitting down at my daughter-in-law's, letting her do my nails, that's I don't have to be owned. Does that make sense? I don't have to be visiting. It's my daughter-in-law. It's my best friend. I can be relaxed and comfy. But anyway, we did do that. And then we have a local family here in Aiken that has Christmas lights set up to where you can just, you know, it's like a drive-through Christmas lights thing. So we took the baby through that. Normally it only takes about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Last night it took almost 30 because there was people in front of us that wasn't moving. Because there's 2 lanes at one point. You can go where they have hot chocolate and cookies for sale, or you can just keep going through the light display. None of us do hot chocolate. And I'm not going to, no offense to them, but I don't eat out of other people's kitchens unless I know them. And I know that sounds weird because, you know, we don't know bakeries, but they are health inspected and stuff. Anyway, it's a glitch for me, I know. But we always do like a donation thing because they have it as you're exiting. You know, if you want to do a donation, here's our CashAPP and Venmo. And I've done that in years past. I didn't do it last night, and I'm sorry. I don't have the extra right now. I still have Christmas shopping that I have to do, and yeah, that's so. But I did tell my daughter-in-law, because I did it last year, so I still have the people's name. So I might have my son that was home, sick in bed. I might have him CashAPP them, or I might go another time and have my son CashAPP them, you know, for both times or whatever. I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure it out. But it was nice. The grandbaby loves it. So my daughter-in-law says she wants to bring him back because last year we only did it one time, and this year she was saying she wants to do it more than once. And she was talking about us maybe creating some new traditions and stuff. So we'll see. That's some of the stuff I was going to talk to y'all about on the next one anyway. So I hope y'all have a great afternoon, morning, evening, whenever you watch this. It is only 11 a.m. That's why. But it's also very cloudy, so I'm hoping that I'm not too much in shadow. I have a light over here. It doesn't seem like it's providing a whole lot of light right now. But it might be because when I put my crochet blanket over there, I think I hit the switch that changed the color. You know, it has like 3 different modes. I bought it when we were going out of business. It's one of those OT lights. I bought it And then I bought this one that's rechargeable and unpluggable. But anyway, I hope y'all have a good one. If you can find some joy sometime today in the smallest little thing, hold on to it. Use it when you need it, or just enjoy it in the moment. I am going to take my unmotivated self and probably go back and sit on my recliner and snuggle up in this blanket to where I can actually tuck it over my shoulder and enjoy it. And it's so funny because with my hips and my back hurting right now, I have had my heating pad, you know, at the base of my back in my recliner. And even on days that I'm not hurting, I still cut it on for warmth. I'm thinking I might need to bring one of my little space heaters in here. I mean, right now, I need it more than I will when I'm going to be in here any other time. Because any other time, I'll be able to pull on some sweatpants. Actually, I think I should be able to do sweatpants really easy. Because, I mean, I can pull them up with one hand. But, you know, because dresses are getting cold right now. We've been in the 20s at night in the last few nights. So, it's getting a little cold. I know that's unusual for the South. But, anyway, I'm going to get off here. I will see y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Bye!